Have you ever stopped yourself from doing something just because you were afraid of what people might think? Maybe you stayed quiet when you had something to say. Maybe you wore something safe instead of what you liked. Maybe you gave up on a dream just to avoid judgment. Why do we care so much about other people's opinions? And more importantly, is there a way to stop? In today's video, we're going to explore that question honestly and simply. We'll look at where this need to be liked comes from, how it quietly shapes our lives, which opinions actually matter, and how we can slowly free ourselves from this fear. If you've ever felt like you couldn't fully be yourself, this is for you. You are not alone. And if you're into deep but simple reflections on life, the mind, and self-worth, hit like and subscribe to Mind in the Mirror. Let's begin. Why we're wired to care. Humans are social by nature. Since the beginning of time, being part of a group meant safety. If the group accepted you, you had support and protection. But if they rejected you, you were left alone, and that used to be dangerous. Even though we don't live in caves anymore, that old instinct is still inside us. Today we don't fear lions, but a harsh comment or someone judging us can still feel like a real threat. It's not just in our heads, it's a deep part of how we're built. Think about it. When we're little, we learn fast that approval from parents makes us feel loved. Criticism from teachers can make us scared to try. And rejection from friends? That can change how we see ourselves for years. So by the time we're adults, caring what others think isn't just about ego. It feels like survival. It's our brain trying to keep us safe. But here's the problem. When we let that fear control us, it starts to hold us back. It stops us from being bold, from showing who we really are, and from finding our own happiness. The hidden power of other people's opinions. Let's be honest, some opinions really do matter. Feedback from someone you trust, love, or admire can help you grow. A mentor's advice, a friend's concern, or a family member's support can all point you in the right direction. Think about it. Have you ever overheard coworkers talking and instantly felt insecure, like maybe you weren't doing enough? Have you ever tried to dress or act a certain way just to fit in with people you didn't even connect with? Have you ever scrolled through social media and suddenly felt like your life wasn't good enough? These are all moments where someone else's world started to shape your emotions. And when that happens too often, you begin to drift away from your own truth. You start playing a role instead of living your life. When we care too much about what others think, we risk losing our voice. We push aside our dreams. We dim our light just to feel accepted. And over time, we stop being who we are, just to avoid judgment. Letting others define who you should be is like wearing shoes that don't fit. They might look fine on the outside, but they're uncomfortable, painful, and not meant for you. The more we choose to trust our own steps, the less we need outside approval. Which opinions actually matter? So, if we can't just ignore every opinion, how do we know which ones to keep and which ones to let go? The answer is simple, but powerful. Listen to the voices that carry truth, not noise. Some opinions come from love and experience. Others come from insecurity, fear, or jealousy. You don't need to carry every comment with you. Instead, choose whose voice you let into your mind and heart. Focus on people who respect your values. They may not always agree with you, but they honor who you are. These are the people who can give feedback without tearing you down. Also, pay attention to those who challenge you with kindness. The ones who speak the truth, even when it's hard, but do it with care. They're not trying to break you, they're trying to help you grow. And most importantly, trust the people who don't just tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. That's real support. Your growth should be guided by feedback that builds you, not by judgment that breaks you. And here's the truth that's easy to forget. You don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. You don't need to shrink to fit someone else's expectations. You deserve respect, just for being real, just for trying, just for showing up. So next time you start to worry about someone's opinion, ask yourself, is this voice lifting me or holding me back? That simple question can change everything. The price of living for others. When you build your life around what others might think, you start to lose pieces of yourself. At first, it might not seem like a big deal. You play it safe in a conversation. You hide a part of your personality. You hold back on a dream. But over time, all those small choices add up, and suddenly, you don't feel like you anymore. You might start avoiding risks because you're afraid of looking foolish. You might feel stuck in a job, a relationship, or a lifestyle that doesn't fit you because it looks good from the outside. You might even lose the simple joy of being seen and loved for who you really are. The sad truth? No one wins that way. The people around you don't get the real version of you. They get a version shaped by fear, and you miss the chance to inspire, connect, or shine in your own unique way. But what if you did the opposite? What if you chose to live as your full self, even if it meant being misunderstood sometimes? What if you spoke up, stood out, and followed your own truth, whether or not others approved? That path isn't always easy. It can feel lonely or scary at first. But it's also the path to real freedom, because when you stop living for approval, you start living with purpose. You stop asking, what will they think? And start asking, what feels true to me? And that shift changes everything. Steps toward caring less. If you want to stop caring so much about what others think, you don't have to make a huge change overnight. You just have to start noticing and taking small, honest steps forward. Start by identifying your triggers. Pay attention to those moments when you stay quiet, change your plan, or hold back, just because you're afraid someone might judge you. These are powerful signs. They show where fear is in control. Then, shift your inner questions. Instead of asking, what will they think of me? Ask yourself something deeper like, will I regret not being honest later? Or, does this action reflect who I want to become? Also, echo the supportive voices in your life. Write down kind words you've received, things people said that lifted you. Keep them close. When the doubt creeps in, remind yourself that you've been seen, heard, and appreciated before. Take small, brave actions. You don't have to do something big. Speak once in a group chat. Wear that outfit you like, even if it feels bold. Share a new idea, even if you're unsure how it'll be taken. Each time you do, you grow stronger. And finally, track your growth. Write down what you noticed each day. How many times did fear win? And how many times did you choose yourself? Every win matters. In time, these small steps build real change. You stop shrinking. You begin standing tall, in your own truth. That's when the real you starts to shine. Stories of real change. Here are a few simple but powerful real-life stories that show what can happen when we stop letting fear of judgment control us. There's the quiet teacher who always felt nervous speaking up in front of her students. One day, she decided to be honest and told her class she used to be shy too. To her surprise, her students didn't judge her. They connected with her more. They listened. They opened up too. Then there's the business executive, working in a serious corporate world, who always hid her creative side. One day, she shared her love for painting with her team. What happened? Her coworkers respected her more. She wasn't just a boss anymore, she was a real person. And there's the 45-year-old dreamer, who always wanted to be an artist but never felt young enough to start. One day, she took a painting class. That one class turned into a passion, and now she teaches others who also thought it was too late. All of these people had that same voice in their head. What if they laugh? What if I fail? But they moved forward anyway. And because of that, their lives grew, bigger, brighter, and more real. You don't need to be famous. You don't need a crowd. All it takes is one small step toward your truth. That's how change begins. Conclusion and reinforcement. So why do we care what others think of us? Because our brains are wired to survive, and being accepted once meant life. But in today's world, Those old instincts can trap us more than protect us. When we stop letting fear of judgment shape our choices, we stop playing small. We let ourselves grow, speak, and create freely. You don't have to stop caring entirely. Just care about the right things, what aligns with your heart and your values. Outro. The fact that you're still here, watching this, says something powerful. It means you're ready to take a closer look at the way you've been living. So ask yourself. And maybe, just maybe, you're ready to stop living for others and start living for you. What would you do if you weren't afraid of being judged? Whose opinion are you finally ready to let go of? If even one part of this video spoke to you, please like it and subscribe to Mind in the Mirror. We share real thoughts, real feelings, and real stories, told in simple words that make sense. No pressure. Just honesty. Leave a comment and tell us, what's one outside opinion you're done carrying? Because when you let go of the wrong voices, you finally make space to hear your own. Thanks for watching. And remember, your thoughts are yours. Live them.